So let's go back to the beginning. How did you get even involved in something like MLG, like esports as a whole? Like, what happened? It's not something that just like automatically falls into your head. Like you know what I'm saying? Like what?
So you want like the origin?
I
like
do. I want the origin
story.
Yeah, the origin.
Well, it's gonna be a long one.
That's what we're here
for. Ready? So 2003, I was at Ohio University in Athens. I was a sports admin undergrad. I was getting ready to graduate, and I found out Jenny was pregnant.
Jenny's your wife?
Yeah, with Anthony.
Yep.
And
how old's Anthony now?
Anthony's 16 now.
Taller than you, taller than me.
He's
a big boy.
He's a big boy.
Yeah.
But that was in May. I graduated in June, and it was holy shit. You got to figure this out. And I was at school on fumes. Like my I don't even know how my mom sent me there. My mom made $10,000, $12,000, $13,000 a year, depending on how many jobs she worked, to support me and my brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was no there was nothing to say I have a savings, I have this. It was like shit, figure out life fast. My plan at the time, before that curveball got thrown, was I'm gonna take a year off after I graduate. I had a job with on a campaign side for a congressman in Ohio.
Okay.
And I was gonna prepare for the LSATs. I want to go to law school.
Mm-hmm.
And I still, Jenny and I spoke, and I was still gonna stick to that. So that summer, when I graduated, I went to work for this congressman, and I was making $400 a month, and I put 35,000 miles in my car in 5 months, driving around 18th congressional district.
Yeah.
90 hours a week, 7 days a week, easy. And when I would come home, I didn't have money for the bars. I didn't have time. I had a baby on the way. I was working all these hours, and I would play Halo 1. And my mom has 7 brothers and sisters, so I have 26 first cousins. I probably have 40 or 50 second cousins. And
wait. So explain that, because I come from a big family too.
Yeah, my mom's Irish Catholic, 7 brothers and sisters.
Okay.
So I have
total
26 first cousins, and I think 24 of them are boys.
Oh my god.
And then the second cousins, it's like
all same last name?
No, like Foster's Kurds, whatever.
Got it.
Side.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
half Italian, half Irish.
Got it.
So all like these cousins, like John Kern, who you know, great people, Bob Morris, all their friends, they were all 4 or 5 years younger than me. They were always like, my little fucking cousin. I don't gonna hang out with them. So
you are related to Morris. You are related to Curran.
Yeah. John's my second cousin. Bob's my first cousin.
Bobbert.
Yeah.
Love that guy. Okay, go on.
So my grandma passed away in May, and we had like an Irish wake or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's like whenever all the families come together and we kind of celebrate the life and after the funeral. And that was right around I found out about Anthony, and I brought Halo to the funeral, to the wake, and that's when I kind of met, in quotes, my younger cousins, who I never really gave a shit about before because they were so much younger than me.
Yeah.
And when I was working this political job all summer and the months after that, they would come to my house with all their friends. And we would have my mom's basement. We would have like 16 people ranging from 16 years old to 25 years old playing Halo.
Yeah.
I was like, this game's fucking great, man.
Yeah,
like I really love it. Like we always would try to get we'd play a lot of 44 and a lot of 2v2. But when and where we could get like 16 people, we would set up 4 TVs. We would do blood golf. We'd do crazy shit. And I was like, I want more people to play with. And so I had my buddy who knew websites. He made me a website, and I rented a ballroom in Wheeling, West Virginia for $400 of my own money.
Yeah.
And in August, we were going to run Ohio Valley Shootout. We made this website, had no pre-registration, just to advertise it. We went on AOL Instant Messenger. I got the ogres to put the thing in their AIM profile.
Wait, so the ogres by that time?
I found out this scene existed. I had no idea.
So it had already been like a thing.
There was like people. The ogres were like the world champions of Halo for like these little like grassroots tournaments. I had no idea it existed until I started looking into running my own.
Yeah.
So I reached out to them. They were from Pickerington, Ohio, which is a few hours from me, and I said, "Hey, will you I'll give you free entry to my tournament if you help advertise it." So I went on these forums I found. I advertised it. I had no idea what was going to happen.
Which forums were there at the time? Do you know?
It was called AGP.
Okay.
And then also the MLG forums. These guys in New York started this company, Mike and Sundance. So August rolls around. We go to 5:30 in the morning. We get in John Kern's brother's S10 1995 pickup truck.
Yeah.
We pile 20 tube televisions in the back of it.
Yeah.
Borrow 20 Xboxes. And literally, like, me and 2 other people are sitting in the bed of this pickup truck holding TVs down as we drive from the Ohio side to Wheeling, West Virginia.
How many hours?
I mean, it was like right across the river.
Okay,
I mean, like I grew up like in the middle of like the
Coal City.
the coal and steel when it
Yeah.
evacuated and doesn't exist anymore. You have these little villages that still exist.
Yeah.
And they used to be great thriving commerce centers, and
Yeah.
now they're ghost towns.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's where I grew up. So Wheeling, West Virginia was the big city near us.
Yep.
So that we drive in this S10 pickup, we set up these TVs. We set up this tournament. We have people show up. Hundreds of people showed up. We had no idea. Chris Puckett, 16-year-old little bastard, showed up. He's a little smart ass.
Yeah.
You know, I think he actually the day before he actually came to my house and helped to set the bracket up because we had like an email thing where people could say they're coming.
Yeah.
But like Bonnie Burton, like Xena, who's now at Destiny, like Scott Lucier, Gandhi, who's now at High Res.
Yep. Yep.
All these people came to this event, and we gave away a few $1,000s in prize money. We ran the tournament. It was a long day. I said I never want to do this again. It was a lot of fun, but it was way more work than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So that week coming up, Puckett reaches out to me a couple weeks later and says, "Hey, I want to run a tournament in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
You ran this tournament in Wheeling. Would you help me set it up?" This kid's 16 years old at the time. He's
Yeah.
just
Puckett.
like, yeah, Puckett.
Yeah.
And so I was like, sure, I'll help you. And I was like, and he's like, these guys in New York just ran this event in August right around ours, MLG, and it was a disaster. It was such a disaster that I yelled at them so much on their forums they banned me.
Oh,
but I think
shit.
that they're desperate. Maybe we could get them to be a sponsor.
Yeah.
So I drafted an email using, like Puckett's not gonna write it. It would have been horrific, and they probably would have just deleted it. And Sundance answered me within like 30 seconds. I was like, "Hey, we're gonna run this tournament, blah 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 blah," and called me. So I get off the phone with him, and I'll tell you what he said in a second. And at the same time, I shit you not, Jenny walks in and said, "Hey, I just watched Cold Pizza on ESPN, and this guy was on there. His name's Sundance." Yeah. And he's talking about the thing you just did in Wheeling. I was like, I just literally hung up the phone with him.
Yeah.
And basically, when I had to call Sundance, he's like, "Hey, we don't have money for a flight, but we want to talk to you. Would you take a train to New York?" So I said, "Yeah, sure." So they bought me like a $100 train ticket. I took an 11-hour train from Pittsburgh to New York. Met Sundance at Penn Station. We walked in their office, which is literally the size, not this suite that we're in right now. It was smaller than a normal hotel room. It was literally like 2 little desks in there. And I met with these guys. We went out and drank, and they said, "Hey, we'll match what you're making at the Congressman." The generous offer of $400 a month.
Yeah.
To come work for us to help us plan this event. You wanted to run in Pittsburgh. We already announced this Philadelphia event. Let's do it in Philadelphia. We'll fund it.
Yeah.
Cool. So we run this. We call it Halo Nationals, and there was like other games like Tekken or like Madden was there, but Halo was the kind of the mainstay. We had like almost 100 teams show up in 2004.
100 teams.
It was nuts.
That's 4-person teams. That's 400 people. That's a crowd.
Yeah.
That's an audience.
Yep.
Right?
$10,000 prize purse.
$10,000 prize purse.
Which was like at that time was industry standard. If you wanted to be a real tournament, $10,000 that's minimum table stakes.
Yeah.
And so that event ends, and I was like, "Hey guys, I got into law school.
Yep.
Time to send in my paperwork and my apply financial aid. It's all my scholarships, blah 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 blah." They're like, "We actually think there's something here.
Yeah.
We want to offer you this it was a decent salary. Like it was like entry level salary, but at the time I wasn't making any money.
Yeah.
And we think this is going to be a thing. We want to make you VP of legal operations. Would you kind of roll the dice with us for a year?" And I said, "Yeah, let's do it." And after I accepted a job, they said, "By the way,"
you got to move to New York.
Well, no.
Oh.
That happens later. But good thing you're on. We've announced a 12-city tour already. We've announced all the cities with specific dates, and we haven't booked a single venue yet.
No.
So these fucking morons announced this tour without doing any of the work.
Yeah.
And then I get brought on, and my one venue I booked was Wheeling, West Virginia, and I booked a Marriott in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So I had to book all these cities, 12, like a national tour.
Yeah.
I'd never been on a flight before.
Okay.
So I've never been flown around anywhere.
Yeah.
So I book all these venues and all these markets. We have they get this a helper too to kind of assist me. But it was Mike Sundance, me, and then Chris Puckett, who was unpaid, he was still in high school, was also a helper. We eventually got John Nelson on and Ryan Thompson, and the team grew. But I used to fly around to these 12 cities by myself.
Yeah.
I would arrive on a Thursday. I would unload the truck by myself. And these were tube televisions, like the giant fucking
big
things.
ones, yeah.
We'd rent them. I'd pull them out, and I remember pulling them out of the cases. These you just pull them out, heft them out. I'd lay the tables myself, lay out all the TVs, lay out all the Xboxes, tape all the wires down, set up the projectors, set up the projection screens, and then Puckett would arrive on Friday after school let out. And then in the summer, obviously, I got Puckett to help me with load-in. But literally, I as an Ohio kid who'd never been on a fight, I used to fly around after booking these venues, never done it before, and do all that by myself. Until because we didn't have money.
Yeah.
Like 2005, we asked for a budget to hire one ref because we were reffing, we were running, we were setting up, we were doing everything. So that's where that was the beginning.
Jesus.